Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here today. And today we have this, which I found just 2 or 3 days ago out in the driveway. And yes, it's another piece of driveway rock. Why not? Well, when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, this is an arrowhead, and it actually looked like it has been worked. Let me get some zoomy zoom here. See, there's some fractures along the side that look like it's been worked, and then I realized, well, this couldn't be an arrowhead because it was in the driveway from shale that was, taken out of a quarry and crushed. So it just sort of naturally formed with this flat side here, and then this point. But also, it's the spiderweb calcite, as I like to call it. And I thought, this stone is just begging to be worked into a cabochon of sorts. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, as you can see, this is... Let me put some water on there. See, right off the bat, it's got a lot of calcite veins. It's got a lot of character. Both sides. And this is going to be... It's going to be a perfect stone, to work into a cab. And we are going to keep this shape. We're going to keep flat here, flat here, flat here, and make this 1, 2, 3, 5 angular arrowhead type shape. So let's take this thing right over the wheel and let's get on it. Okay, here we are. Get some water going here. Get the wheel going. Okay, so I'm gonna turn down the water for one thing. There. I'm gonna work on getting some shape going to this. I want to get a uniform arrowhead shape, which means we're gonna have to take these sides down. I think it's going to be a rather easier cab to make. I may have to cut this angle a little bit more to try and make it into a point, if you get my point. Stupid joke of the day. I could just round those sides a little bit, but I want to keep that angular look. Work on the back here a tad bit. I'm going to flatten it out a little bit so I can make things pretty much even. And you can see I got a big gnarly here, but I think we can deal with that being in it. Okie dokie. I'm still going to have to just cut this side down a little bit more. Might go with a slight, very slight curve on that side, or not. Probably or not. I think I got it just about to where we need it to be shape-wise. And the rest I can do on the other wheel. Now, let's take a look. Focus. Oh yeah. That's looking pretty good, though. This side, I'm not sure if that top needs to be adjusted or this side needs to be a little bit bigger. I think this side needs to be just a bit bigger. Yes, I think that pretty much did it. Alrighty, so now I'm going to start actually working the dome. When I do angular stones like this, I work the dome slightly different most times than I would with a rounded stone. See what I can put it flat against there and start working that edge over. But you do have to be careful. Oh, you always have to be careful. You have to be careful about how you're working that edge over. So let's take a look. Boy, this centerpiece here looks really, really nifty. It's almost like, man, maybe I should leave that, most of that unpolished. And just do the edges. Who knows, maybe we will. I'm going to get just about to where I want it on this wheel, and then head to the, somebody wants me, head to the 600 grit wheel. Okay, now let's sort of see what I'm getting here. We've already made the dome here, basically. Man, I think I am going to do that. I'm going to bring this edge, all these edges up just a little bit more, but leave that, like, pocket of crystalline substance maybe unpolished. So that means we're going to have to go to the other wheel already. Oh, that was fast. Yes. I'm liking the setup that we have the studio in now. I can not get water for one thing. Oh wait, I'm turning the wrong valve. Ha ha! Hoi! I was turning the valve on the first wheel. Ah, there we go. Now we got water on this wheel. That's something when you actually turn the correct valve. Things work. Alright, let me run this edge over. Run this edge over a little bit. When I do it this way, you know, going just with the flat, or say parallel to the angle, then I create sort of these facets here, okay? I think you can see that. It does make it a little bit easier to cab up, and it's still a cabochon. You have to be very careful. So, you know what this sort of looks like? It sort of looks like Superman's emblem on his chest. Okay, now we've got a faceted ridge running right up the center here. But there is some gnarly right here. So I'm going to have to try and take that out. I think I got it out. Boy, this might be a much faster stone than I figured it would be. Take a quick gander at this. Something just not right. Let me look at the back. Okay, if I look at the back, this angle is not the same as that one. If I go straight across here, let me see something. I'm going to have to take this down on this side a little bit, for one. Okay, that flattened it out. If I come straight across, yeah, that angle point there has to come. No, I think that's good. This angle has to go this direction a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope I'm explaining this well enough of what exactly I'm doing here. Oh, look at that. We are getting so much more even now. That is what I was trying to get, was this evenness. Evenness, even. And I'm going to lightly work right down to the edge. Right down to the bottom edge and up. Bottom edge, and up. And I'm not using much pressure at all. And I'm going the whole way down, trying to make sure I get nice, sharp facets at the top. Not crazy, I'm actually looking for facets this time. And I'm not using much pressure at all. I mean, very, very little pressure. I almost have to use my fingers to feel how that's coming across on the top. And I'm definitely liking the idea of leaving this unpolished. Now, there's not going to be it's not going to be put on a stick. Okay. What I am going to do here is try and flatten this back out. Because we've got a roly thing going. If you look at it from the side, you can see that it's not quite straight. Maybe I can. It's not quite flat. I'm going to work this a little bit so it is quite flat. Still could use a flat lap. I have my manual powered flat lap, but I don't have the proper wheels for it, which is quite annoying. No, not wheels, but flat laps to put on the flat lap. Okay, I think we've got this to the point where it's acceptably flat. So I'm going to just cut this edge down a little bit in the way that I normally do it. It's one of the things I don't usually do on the videos. I do this after I polish it. Oh, I got another email from Mrs. Cluck. And those of you who don't know, Mrs. Cluck was the sponsor of the channel before she went into retirement and is now going all around the world doing things that she always wanted to do. I'm just going to go over this once more. And this week, another one that I didn't get any context in. Yeah, I don't know. You're riding a bicycle with... Well, actually, she just said with family. She says that a lot. So, Mrs. Cluck is with family again this week. And I say, good for her. Okay, I think I'm going to actually turn that edge flat like this on that back side. I'm not taking it too much over the top, as much as I am taking it to the back. And I think I'm going to go over that front edge a little bit again after I'm done with this. Okay, and then we're going to go to the 600 soft wheel, which I will have to use a very light touch on because I don't want to take anything away from these nice faceted edges. Okay, so yes, this is looking great. This is looking great. And as I'm doing this, oh, I got to turn this off. I'm thinking maybe I should take that the whole way up to the top there and, completely, polish that up. And I'm thinking, no, maybe the nice contrast between rough. Oh, valve's still stuck. Maybe the nice contrast between rough and polished will give it extra character and add to its uniqueness. So we're going to do that first. We can always come back and completely polish it up. And now it's light touch, you know, because this wheel is padded. Whew. This wheel is padded, so it will bend in a little bit. So we want to make sure we get a light touch to keep those nice angles. And I'm trying only to come up to the angle and not go past it so I don't round it off. It's not so difficult on the long ones. The short ones, that's where it gets a little more tricky. So you could probably, I was just going to say, you could probably do this with a faceting machine. Then I realized, no, you're not going to be able to do this with a faceting machine because this is rounded coming up. Faceting machine would cut from point A to point B flat. Not B flat as in music, but point A to point B in a straight, flat line. I think it's going to be a quicker video than I figured it would be. But that's not always bad. Sometimes it's nice to be able to just zip onto something and make something pretty in a quick amount of time. And I think I'm going to go over all of these again. Just because. Even with this material being soft, we're not going to take that much off with this soft wheel, or this finer wheel. I mean, if I just sat here forever and ground on it, yeah, it would take it off. But I'm using a light touch, and we're not hogging on it forever. We're just trying to make sure we get all the gnarly doos out of there. Okay. It sort of looks like somebody with their body curled up kicking. It's like, maybe it's a Taekwondo stone. Alrighty, let's head over to that nutter wheel. This nutter wheel. The one we couldn't get a good view at before because it was right at the edge of this thingy, and the thingy wasn't allowing me to get in there properly. Alright. So again, I'm using a light touch. Even though this one is not very aggressive at all. Still using a light touch. I'm going to come right up to that edge. And yes, I'm doing the larger pieces, or larger edges first, so that then I have a better reference point for the smaller ones. And I'm feeling my edges, and they feel pretty darn sharp. Okay, I believe that is... Oh, wow, yeah, that's coming along great, especially if I put it in the camera. And I'm going to hit the back with this a little bit. I think I hit it on the other wheel. It won't matter, it's the back. And I'm going to do one more pass on the front with this one. And I'm thinking I'm going to... I'm not sure how I want to do the final polish. I'm thinking maybe using Zam. But that might take off the sharp edges. Alrighty, so we're basically done. So before I hit this with the final polish, let's take it over to the table and see what we have and decide what we're going to do. Okay? Okay, we are at the table. And we're going to get a good look at this. So let's zoom in on our... Maybe? Yeah, there we go. Okay, this is looking pretty darn cool. I mean, there's nothing uncool about this. I think that is really going to make a difference, showing contrast between the polished and the unpolished in the center. And I think I'm going to have to take this over onto the cerium oxide wheel, because I do have flat surfaces on that, and I need to have a flat surface to round and polish these correctly. So don't go away. I shall be right back after we hit this with the cerium oxide. Okay. Okay, we are back from the cerium oxide. And after I hit it with the cerium oxide, I actually had to go back onto the finer wheel and touch up a few little spots. But what we got now I think is completely out of focus. Okay, what we've got now is, I think, pretty darn fantastic. We have this beautiful spiderweb calcite. We still have a fairly sharp edge on all of the facets, but what we do have is polished to a fine luster on all of these edges. You know, I'm trying to catch the light here so we can get a good idea of it. It's like there, yeah, we've got a nice polish. And then that unpolished section right in the center that's showing off the natural crystal structure, I think is just flipping awesome. You know, the back, I should actually polish that. If it didn't have this giant gnarly right there, that would look great, completely polished to a finish like this side. You know, so let's even get a closer look. But I think that contrast really makes this stone into something much better than if it just had a regular old finished cabochon top. And this is a piece of driveway shale. I mean, seriously, you can find beauty in places you'd never, ever think about. And we don't do enough of that. But regardless of anything, this stone is a win. So if you like the video, hit the button, subscribe, like it, do all that stuff, because it really helps the channel out. And I'll be bringing you more stuff like this, and I got a surprise coming up. Not going to tell you what it is, because I don't know when it's going to get here, but it's going to be soon. And it's going to be, I'm thinking it's pretty big. I'm saying it's pretty big. The chicken said it was pretty big. But what's a chicken know? So anyway, thanks for spending some time with me, and have a good evening.